Hey, good evening, traders. I hope everyone's had a good trading day. Monday's usually an off day for me. I won't get into the whys of this because it's become a bit of a contentious issue in the chat. But for me, I don't think it's a good idea to trade intraday 5 days a week anyway. It takes a lot of mental energy, and frankly, it's not necessary. To build your account 2 or 3 days a week is plenty, I think. Just pick the days where you feel most comfortable and you have the least distractions. And if we're picking up on average 10 to 20 yard trades, then you only really need 1 or 2 of these a week. So you should be coming to the screen totally relaxed, not anxious, and try to take the first trade that you find. Just while we're on the topic, you should never be screen watching for extended periods of time whilst trading intraday. You should certainly never be hunting for the trade. You should make a plan and utilize the alert button, okay? All of the prep that you do, the planning and the alert setting, this is your best friend. If you screen watch for say 30 minutes or more, your brain is going to kind of naturally switch into a mode where you're hunting for a trade and you start to want to trade the first setup that presents itself. Now, if you want to have an edge in these very competitive markets, then you really have to be focused on taking the A+ high RR trades with the highest probability of success. So I've given you a framework for this, which should help you with this goal. Now remember, one of the main goals, aside from capital preservation, which is number 1, is to consistently apply your edge and have a steadily rising equity curve, okay? You're only as good as your last trade. If you screen watch all day, there's a high probability you're going to take subpar trades, probably overtrade. You might have small wins and losses that affect your judgment, so I strongly advise that you have other things to do during the trading day and let the trade come to you. So what I teach is to make a plan using all of the information the market is providing you. And on this particular day, nothing's really jumping out. Intraday bias. Well, the first thing we notice is we've broken Friday's low, the 23rd of August low, and we're trending down on M1, below S1. And we've come quite low. We've come down to about 1650 at 6 a.m. Looking at Dixie at 6 a.m, it's broken that weekly swing low, but kind of a weak liquidity grab. And I see this gap, which I think is likely to be filled today. So if Dixie's going to be going down, heading to this gap, I kind of have a long-ish bias on GU to start off. To add to that, another clue we have is we have this fair value gap. Okay, this is 6 a.m. So we've got this H4 fair value gap, which could be filled. So I'm not really looking to trade today, so I'm just kind of like casually observing, doing other things. I notice we're starting to trend up a little bit. It's kind of compressing, and we do break this M15 swing high and go into this very minor supply. You could probably trade this as a setup one. For whatever reason, I didn't. I don't think I was at the screen. I think I was doing something else, but I think it was probably tradable. Maybe down to Frankfurt low. It would have been a small scalp, so I wasn't really interested because I had a long bias. What I do see is Frankfurt low, so I'm waiting for that to be hit because we have this basing, which I think lacked as demand. Okay, it's kind of broken structure, so we're waiting, and we'll just speed up a little bit to see what happens. Now, I had planned to take no trades today, so I'm only wanting to trade like something that really pops out, and nothing's done that yet. We're just like in a sideways market. It's, past London Open, but we are coming down to Frankfurt low, which is a key level. So here I'm watching, and when it breaks Frankfurt low, I'm thinking about a trade. But I'm watching first, and I see that we're compressing down below Frankfurt low into this demand. and at this point we get quite a large imbalance. So let's look at that in the footprint. 31.0. So if you get that while we're accumulating, this becomes like a line in the sand. Okay, if we stay below that, then we're probably going to go short. If we break above it, then I think it's good to look for a long, because we've got all of the conditions met. So I'll press play again very slowly. I say at 10:09ish. Where's that? 10:09. I have this feeling, because we're compressing down and below Frankfurt low, that we're about to pop. Okay, that compression, to me, the price action says we're going long, so I'm ready to do that. I don't think it's strong at this point. I think that's just psychological, because it's a Monday and it's like the first trade. I always feel antsy about it, so I'm not like really try to persuade people to take this. It's kind of like my own personal trade, and I'm already building a position here at 10.11, which is really a bit naughty, okay, because there's no confirmation yet. So I've already got 15 lots in, which I shouldn't be doing, but just based on my, I'll call it gut, which is really my experience, I can tell what's about to happen. So we're watching this 31.0 primarily, and it's kind of all eyes on that, because that's the line in the sand. And if we break above it, which we do, then we have a break of structure. Okay, we've broken that trend line. So this is a kind of confirmation too, or you could call it an aggressive entry. We've broken this 31.0. I'll zoom in. You should always be zoomed in when you're trading M1 like this, because it's very quick. We've got a compression, we've got the sandwiching, it pops, breaks structure, and then retests this large imbalance. So that's your safe entry, and that's where I build my second set of 15 lots. Yeah, 12, 15. So here it is on footprint, and we get acceptance, we get a close above 1660, and your entry is very quick. Okay, you get a close above the level, and then it comes down to retest the level. So using footprint, you can have a very precise entry. Okay, it only goes a pip below your entry. So here it is. That's where I build my second position. I'm not sure if anyone else got in this. I have a feeling someone else did. I can't remember who exactly. So I'm in with 30 lots at this point, and my target is Asia high. I thought that was a fair enough target. I mean, what else do we have above? Nothing really. I expect we're gonna fill this H4 gap, so I thought Asia high was a fine kind of like conservative target, and we'll let it play out. And there it goes. So 11-hour trade, and that's before midday. So that was the first main trade I took. There was another short later in the day, because once we've filled this H4 gap, it's kind of like a resistance almost. You can expect a short to come up. At this point, we've filled the gap on Dixie, and the next trade was actually a short around this H1 supply. So I'll get into that in another video, but that was the first trade we took, and I thought that was a good one. Set up one, break below Frankfurt low, break a structure, and retest of a large imbalance. So it's just that's exactly the kind of trades we're taking, and you can go in with a very precise entry. Stop below the imbalance. I put a 3 pip stop on basically. Yeah, and there you go. and we can talk about other trades we took today. But that was the first one. You always get something like this, a nice 10R, you know, during the London session. So that's it, we got it. And that's it. That's all I have to say for this video, and I hope you have a great evening, and we'll talk soon. Cheers.